Welcome to a new episode. Welcome back, I should say. Today I'm going to speak a little bit about what I saw on a documentary a few weeks ago, which is talking about that people in these days are expecting, of course, consensual, but hard sex, really. Really, the roughhousing sex. And what I can get from that is that people have been so damaged by porn that they don't really, I don't know how to say this, they don't really know what is fact or fiction. They assume that they want to be fucked hard, they assume that they want to have rough sex, and their partners assume that they want it also, and it's the norm. And that's what I want to touch base on. I mean, nothing wrong with how you have sex, but what I want to say is that if you have rough sex, it should be discussed as everything else around sex, and of course, it should have boundaries and safe words if it's more like BDSM and so on. So it's really, for me, it's a really troublesome fact which is discussed in that documentary. They also discussed the damaging nature of porn, really, which some say doesn't have a damaging nature, and which some does say have a damaging nature. To go back to my own thoughts, is that uh, when I saw it, I was, I guess nowadays you can say that I was quite old because I knew many of my friends had seen it a couple of years before me. But I never really felt the uh, need to discover that side of society until I was like 14 or 15, 14, I think. But I remember when I did, and I just jumped on the first porn site that I was recommended by a friend. Uh, I think back in, I'm not gonna name it here so it doesn't get any trouble with Instagram or anything like that. So, but I jumped on there and I clicked on I tried to search for what I liked, and back in the days I didn't know what I liked at all actually. So I clicked around and I tried a few clips and I started watching. And I remember I was just thinking, this cannot be what it's meant to be like. This has to be fake. This cannot be nice for the girl, maybe for the boy, but this isn't how it's supposed to be done. This isn't the way it's meant to be. It's meant to be more loving and so on, and I'm guessing in that. But what I'm trying to say, just because it's me thinking like that, means that there are some people that are capable of thinking, critical thinking of stuff they are seeing, and not immediately getting aroused by what they are seeing. And that was me actually. I remember I talked to it among my assistants, who of course then were a lot older than me, and they tried to reason with me and speak with me, and probably heard on me and my tone that I had a concern for it. And so it was a concern. I saw how they treated women and so on, and I didn't appreciate it at all. So then we are jumping forward a few years till now, and then you might be wondering, well, he's still watching uh, porn. I would say, nah, not the way you think about porn. Erotic content, softcore, yeah, but not porn in that kind of sense. I wouldn't say that. And if I do that, I try to evaluate the company, how the movie looks, and I am aware that many of these things are like, how am I supposed to say, it's just a movie. It's not fake, but it's acting. But still, it can be a dirtier porn company and lesser. So I try to watch how the ethics around the movie seems to be like, and try to judge it from the scenery and so on. And I get it. It's many, really many categories, and everyone has their own fetish and so on. It's not that I want to discuss about really. It's I want to touch base on where I began really. It's the consensuality, I guess you could call it. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. You have to discuss the things and so on, so you're clear on what you have to do, and especially if you try more like rough housing stuff like BDSM or so on. It's really important to have a trust in your partner or partners, whatever floats your boat, or him or her, and have a safe word and show that it's just a play to stimulate the mind. Really, it's something that you play around with and get aroused and everything like that. I'm not here to say that you should do this or that. That is not my point. It's just the point that you need to have a clear discussion and so on. The point is also that some people say that having a discussion around sex is can kill the vibe of the sexual situation. Well, make it. I would say that you could make it a how to say routine discussion when you are not about having sex. Say you talk about it at dinner, at TV night, or at afterward, before or watching a movie. Make it a common occurrence in your life that you're discussing sex and discussing the pleasure and what you like and what your partner like, and do's and don'ts and so on. So yeah, also remember that you are inside someone else, especially as a guy. You're inside another person. It's something that you share with somebody else. And if you're sharing something else with somebody else in that kind of way, which is pretty extreme, it can be. You have to respect that you are giving something else to somebody else, and they are taking something from you or inside themselves. So respect that. It's somebody else's body, and it's the same thing when I'm doing massages for people. I like doing massages, and what I'm trying to say by that is still, if I've known someone for years, or if it even feels like I'm been knowing someone for years, I still don't do massage on stuff that they don't know where I'm going to massage them. Never. I ask first of all where they want to be massaged. I try to discuss with them what they have been, where they have been feeling pain, and so on. I try to make them see the whole picture as what they've done previously and why it might have happened, all this, and what they've done the last few days, which can contribute to the pain that they have in their body, and how we might be able to solve the situation. Yeah, you have to respect that it's always somebody else's body, and even if you there, even if you know them, don't take it for granted. Never do that because it's somebody else's body. And I know a few times I do stuff like I don't know how to say. I do more sports massages, which is supposed to be more deep tissue, more like what should I say? More muscle tissue should be uh, not exploited, but so that you can recover easily. It's not the more more easily, you know, tactile massages or stuff like that. I can do it, but my my better side in massage is muscle massages and deep tissue, and both of those things can include a huge amount of pain. And when I'm talking about pain, I really mean pain. You, if you, I know someone might be watching this. I'm almost certain who have gotten a lot of massages from me, and you know it's really fucking painful. But it's good. I mean, I wouldn't do something that I think would hurt someone. I, I, I can assure you that. I wouldn't do something that would hurt someone. Never, that's not who I am. I want people to feel better when they leave the work than when they arrive at work. I mean, they can feel good when they arrive at work also with me, but I want to make them have a great day, make them feel better along during the day. So what I'm trying to say is, even if I know someone, and even if you think you know someone, and even if I do a lot of massages and they know what my basically often my massages conclude to, means that you still have to ask the person what they want, how they want, when I'm doing stuff like that, and so on. I know some of the times I've gone too rough on stuff like that, so but then people tell me that, whoa, you have to chill, and I try to listen to them. So the point is, you have to discuss things that you think that you already know, which you most often not know, because we are people and we are dynamic, and we change our mind, and we feel to try, and we like to try something new or something else or anything like that. So think about that too. Tragic. And I'm sure that I've been damaged by porn also, and many of my friends and many who watches this and so on. But please try to evaluate what you're watching, and so on. I'm not trying to say that any fetish is wrong, or if your style is this or that or anything like that. It isn't wrong if you like rough sex. You do actually like it. Fine with me. But still, you have to have a discussion with your partner, because it was so. I almost say disgusting, but distressing facts that they came up with, actually, when the young people feel that they have to try everything, and they have to, like, BDSM is the norm, and almost none of them that they interviewed knew even what they were getting into. But it's just a TikTok style, and I like it rough, and it's a pop culture about how you like rough sex and things like that. And it's not wrong. You just need to have a discussion, because otherwise you will be going so much at the wrong way. It's not even fun. I don't know what to say about it. It's just disgusting, basically. Nothing less. But another topic I want to touch about, and I want to take a moment between these to say that I'm always up for discussion about things in my DMs or in commentaries or stuff like that. But and another thing that I would like to discuss is judgment, and it's a dangerous land to move in. Not a dangerous, but it's a treacherous land, more I should say, because sometimes you don't want to step on a person's feeling, but then you want to tell someone that something isn't okay. I always try to advocate to people for speaking their mind, saying what they want to, trying to not censor themselves, while at the same time not exhibiting uh, behaviors such as being an asshole. Then that's a treacherous path also. But what I'm trying to say is, all this talk about that it's not sexy to talk about sex and stuff like that. Well, I mean, my thought of it is this: if you talk about sex, and if you can agree on stuff like that, and if you can accept and maybe even like your partner's ideas, then your sex will become so much better than trying to stay quiet and not trying to evaluate and not trying to be you. I always advocate for people to be them. They're wholeheartedly them. I mean, it isn't easy with everyone, but everyone has the right to be themselves. Because I think people blossom in that way. And it's very damaging when we are trying to use something as elemental as our sex life and uh, our I don't know what to call it, our sexual drive and human nature to oppress, or maybe even, as I talked about this earlier, oppress in an uh, unwanting way or unknowing way, just because you have these wild ideas that everyone should like, and the girls, they don't want to express that they don't know what they like, or they don't dare how to say that, how they want to have sex with you and what they like and so on. Instead they're being like, oh, but the guy should know, he had looked at porn. Well, that's the most stupid thing we can assume, because porn, as I started in, is just fucking fake. It's nothing else. It's a story between, no, it's not even a story no longer. People try that also, but it's just, people don't care about the story. People just uh, quick jumping forward in the chapters till the fucking gets on. So yeah, that's basically it. But I'm trying to say that we both sides need to communicate what we want, what we think we like, what boundaries we have when we try new stuff, and so on. And back to the judging. Then, when you communicate what you want and so on, you shouldn't be judged for your for your let me start over and say that everyone judges everything, all day, every day, as a human being. But what I mean is that you should put comments like, "Oh, you're such a pussy. Oh, why don't want you do that?" and blah 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 and so on, and all this mean stuff. You don't have to. Don't do that. Don't do that to your guy. Don't do that to your girl. Don't do that to your next of kin. Nothing. Nothing. Just don't do that. Try to listen instead and try to understand and try to evolve both your and your partner's uh, situation and understanding, and try to understand. Begin there. I mean, I don't know where to. I almost lost my train of thought there. But this is a real heart piece for me to at the same time accept and try new things, but at the same time you have to always have the rights of the person and people involved in this, in a higher, I don't know what to call it really, in a higher state of mind. What I mean with that is, if someone don't want to have sex with you, you cannot do nothing about that. It's just to accept that. You try another day, try another situation, gain the respect, gain the confidence, gain the safety of the other person. You cannot force yourself, and should not ever force yourself on somebody else. It's always wrong. It's always wrong. Whether it's a guy or a girl, it's always wrong, will never be right. But you always have the right to ask questions. You always have that. If you ask me, always, always, always. Yes, and that's what I'm trying to say. Even if you judge something and think it's weird and stuff like that, try to keep an open mind still. And I would even suggest that if you feel that something isn't at all in your range of your sexuality, or something that you could feel comfortable with, or if you don't see yourself in that position, and so on, then try something else. Try something else. Do that, or just say it isn't for you, or say, well, we can start with this and try other things, and start small. Start small. try not to judge with that. I mean, try not to show disgust. Try not to show that you think it's weird and stuff like that, because sexuality is a real big part of the human being. And if you are then trying to say that something is wrong or wrong with them, you might think that, but please be careful, because you can really hurt someone with that. You don't always have to agree. That's not what I mean. But it's really hard to communicate sometimes, even if it doesn't even involve stuff like sex. Communication is hard. Communication can every way, everywhere, always go completely wrong, even if you have good intentions. So please think of it like that. And it's even harder to discuss sex. So please have an open mind, discuss it, say what you can do and are willing to try. If you feel that something isn't for you, then don't try it and so on. Because I've had so much these days, both judgment in sexuality and other stuff like that, and I think we should be past a few of these things. Fucking stop judging me for simple stuff. It's like judging me for pineapples on pizza. Well, will people say, well, that's a funny joke. I love that. Well, pineapples on pizza, people should be shot. Well, I don't eat pineapples on pizza myself. But still, I don't shoot the people. For real. Besides the joke, I would not shoot people for pineapples on pizza. Well, as long as you don't force me to eat it. I guess. No, I would not, of course, shoot anyone. But what I'm trying to say, what you have on your pizza and what you want to eat is as much your decision, your opinion, your taste. And it's exactly the same with sexuality and trying to incorporate new things in your bedroom. It's exactly the same thing. I don't have to like the same thing as you do, but don't try to force stuff on me. Explain to me if you want to try it with me. Explain what you would like to try. Like, try to keep an lately I've seen so many examples where people is just trying to find what's disgusting and wrong with people instead of trying to understand. What I want to do with this, and maybe another clip in another time, another something, is trying to make people understand that please don't just judge people. Please try to understand, and then you can judge. But even if you do judge on the facts that you have, on the facts that you have gathered, on the facts that you have, on the facts, not on what you think or how you look at it, or what society says is right or wrong. Base your opinion fucking on facts. I'm tired of people doing the guessworks only, or as we call it in Sweden, killgissa. It's tiring. Fuck that. We should be better. It's 2023. Come on, people. We should be better. Well, that's everything I really had to say. No, it's not everything. I have a lot of stuff to say, but I think it will be everything for this time. I'll see when I do anything more with this at another time. But until then, bye.